watching Team USA, specifically being able to watch Steph, KD, and LeBron play together, watching the comebacks, watching the clutch shots that LeBron made and KD made and Steph made down the stretch of some of those games was phenomenal. Once in a lifetime opportunities, three of the greatest to ever play, playing together for their country, winning us gold. Beautiful, right? But we are going to lose in 2028, and we're going to lose bad in 2028. We might not even be able to make it past the World Games. Okay, that's a little extreme. We're not gonna not place. Like, we'll win bronze or silver for sure, but winning the gold seems just like insurmountable at this point. And the reason I think that, I know some of y'all in the comments like, oh, what is this fat fuck talking about? He doesn't know what he's talking about. He probably never even touched the basketball. Whatever. That's fine. But the reason I say that we're not going to win gold in 2028 is because not only did we struggle with teams like South Sudan and Germany and Serbia, who really only had Nikola Jokic and Bohan Bogdanovic carrying them to be up 13, 15 points against us for majority of that game. Not only did we struggle against those teams, a lot of our games were won by 1 point, 2 points, 5 points. I think we blew one team out by 20. But for the most part, they were pretty close games that we could have lost. And the only reason that we were even able to overcome those obstacles was because we had Steph, KD, and LeBron. And I'm a KD hater, but as soon as KD came, things started turning around. And I'm a KD hater. Things turned around immediately as soon as we got Kevin Durant back out there. When it was just LeBron and Steph, we was still struggling. We got him, things turned around a little bit, and we still was struggling. And back to my point, we're not going to win gold in 2028 because, one, Steph is 36 years old. Kevin Durant is 35 years old. LeBron James is 75. No, LeBron James is 38 years old. Most likely, neither of those three are going to be playing in 2028 in the NBA or in the Olympics. LeBron maybe, and you know what? None of them have slowed down, so it's possible that they'll play. But we got to be realistic at the same time. They old as hell. And even if they are still able to dominate and play how they play now, do they want to? Probably not. And LeBron even said, I think I seen a quote from him saying he doesn't see himself playing in the 2028 Olympics. Not saying it's impossible. He just doesn't see it, which is 100% understandable because he'll be 42 years old suiting up for the fucking Olympics. Now, don't get me wrong. Some guys do that. Like, I think some guys for Argentina. I think Luis Scola. I don't think he was playing this time, but in 2020 he was playing and he was like 44. Like, guys do it. It's not impossible. But the question is, do they want to? Probably not. Second point. Like I said before, we were struggling against teams like South Sudan. And I want to throw some respect to South Sudan and Luol Deng. Luol Deng has turned that whole program over there around. He's paying for stuff out of his pocket, as far as I understand. He's been coaching them. He got a staff around him that he trusts and stuff like that. And those guys are really good. Don't get me wrong. They even have a couple NBA guys on that team, but who is Wenyen Gabriel for real? He's on the Lakers, and that's great. But who is he really? What are we talking about here? We struggled against Serbia, which Jokic is one of the best players in the world, right? But it's literally him, Bohan Bogdanovic, who's pretty good. I like Bohan. He played for the Hawks. He's a good player. He can score. He's a very good scorer, especially off the ball. But I don't even think he's on the level of like Derek White. Like he's barely Derek White, Drew Holiday. He's not even Drew Holiday level. He's around Derek White, slightly below that. So arguably probably our worst player on our team was their second best player. And we were struggling. We were down 15 points for the majority of the game. We just play around too much, and that was my problem. It just felt like we were joking and playing against certain teams until the fourth quarter came, and we miraculously come back and win games, which is fine. You're winning the games. We won gold, and that's great. But like Red Auerbach said, and my friend was making fun of me about this because he's like, "Oh, you an old head." But Red Auerbach told Bill Russell, if you let people think they can beat you and gain that confidence and be like, "Oh, well, we was up 15 the whole game," and da 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 da, eventually they're gonna beat you. And I think 2028 is the time that that's gonna happen. Because again, our best three players, our three leading scorers, Steph, KD, and LeBron, are going to be gone. And let's throw Drew Holiday in there. He's 34. He's not going to be playing in 2028. And then when you go through the rest of the roster, AD's not going to be playing. AD has played amazing this past year. He didn't have a whole bunch of injuries like he has in the past, but he historically speaking, he's injury prone. He's brittle bones. So realistically speaking, AD probably won't be playing. What, it'd be 32 around that time. He'll be in the NBA still. Will he be playing for the USA team? Probably not. Same thing for Embiid. Embiid, historically speaking, is injury prone. Will he be able to do that 4 years from now? Play a whole season and then play in the Olympics as well? I don't think so. And then it was a rumor that he might play for Cameroon next time around because he felt bad about what he did to them. Like that's a whole different story. He kind of told them he was going to play for them and they ended up playing for the USA team. They were upset. It's the whole thing with that. I did a video on that a while back, like guys like switching up last minute. I don't think people should be able to do that. I'm glad we had Embiid, but I don't think guys should be able to switch up on teams like that. Like if you agree to play for somebody, you should just play for him. But that's a whole different conversation. But Embiid, will he be in 4 years? Because he's already injury prone now. He's hurt every year, playing through injuries. In 4 years, will he be able to turn that around, play a full season, most likely be in the playoffs, and play in the Olympics? I don't think so. If he decides to even play for Team USA. Tatum, on the other hand, I don't think he plays for Team USA either. Because he sat out the whole tournament. Steve Kerr sat him down the whole tournament. And I'll get into Steve Kerr in a second. Steve Kerr sat him down the whole tournament. Him and Halliburton. Now, I think Halliburton will come back and play. I don't think Tatum comes back and plays. He just won a championship. He's been playing his best basketball. And Steve Kerr sat him down for the whole tournament. Unless it was garbage time. I don't think he comes back. And then that leaves us with Bam, Devin Booker, who will be older by then. He'll be in his 30s by then. Ant, who's great, Michael Jordan Jr., of course. Halliburton, and possibly Derek White coming back. So it's 4 guys and a possible coming back. Now let's go into the maybes, right? Jaylen Brown. I don't think Jaylen Brown plays for Team USA in 2028 because he got snubbed this time. He should have been playing this time when Kawhi was out. Or when Kawhi decided to leave last minute. Which I was upset when it initially happened, but I would rather you drop out than pull up and bullshit around like some of the guys were. Because to be completely honest, like some of the guys were inconsistent and bullshitting around the entire time. We're just so much better than these other teams that we still ended up winning games. And again, on the backs of the only guys that played well consistently were Steph, KD, and LeBron. Everybody else was very sometimey. And B had a couple good games. AD and Bam had a couple good games, and they did play well defensively. Drew Holiday had a couple of good defensive games. But for the most part, nobody was consistently playing their roles and doing their part besides those 3, the oldest motherfuckers on the team. But getting into the possibles, like I said, I don't think JB plays. Our best bet is is hoping that Cooper Flagg and Chet Holmgren, a couple real Americans, pull up and play. And why are they real Americans, Steve? Well, just forget that part. We do hope Chet and Coop play though. And Coop, if he's gonna be as good or as great as people expect him to be, 4 years from now he gets drafted next year. That'll be his third year. That'll be a huge boost, right? Paulo Banchero is a possibility. He's great. He's a great player. Now you're adding in two. Not saying they're LeBron. I'm just saying you're adding two LeBron James-esque players, Swiss Army knives that can score, rebound, pass, play defense. That's great. But I just feel like without Brown, without Steph, without KD, because they were the focal points of this team and carried us to these wins in these close games, I just don't see any of these guys stepping up and making that change. And I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope in 2028 these guys come 10 toes. Pause. Whoa. Sorry. I hope in 2028 these guys show up ready to play, not bullshitting around, and they don't embarrass us. I hope I'm wrong. Because when you look at it like Coop, Paulo Banchero, Chet Holmgren, Bam will still be there. Devin Booker will be a little bit older, but he'll still be there. That's a decent squad, but is it good enough to win gold? And are they gonna come to play? That's the biggest thing. Are they gonna be serious? Are people gonna buy into their roles? I think that was a huge problem in Team USA this year as well. A lot of guys wasn't buying into their roles, but again, to get into Steve Kerr a little bit, that goes into Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr was playing small ball. Who the fuck plays small ball in the Olympics when teams are sending out 7-footers? 2 7-footers that can shoot. Serbia and Germany, and like they're sending out big guys, and you're sending out 3 guards to start the game. Our starting lineup was Steph Curry, Drew Holiday, Devin Booker, LeBron James, and Joel Embiid. Why? Why are you running 3 guards against 7-footers? What sense does that make? That's why we were struggling so bad, because we were getting turnovers. We weren't getting a lot of rebounds unless Bam and AD were out there. But they're not starting the game, so we're starting the game behind. Now we're down 10, fighting uphill. Because this team is so great, we were able to overcome some of that stuff, a lot of that stuff. But why put yourself in position to have to overcome something when you could be up 20? In my opinion, the starting lineup should have been Steph, Anthony Edwards, LeBron, Bam, and AD. And then the off the bench lineup would have been Tyrese Halliburton running the show for the second unit, not standing in the corner waiting for the ball. People were talking about Halliburton wasn't playing well, and Steve Kerr, that's why he wasn't playing him. Steve Kerr had Halliburton standing in the corner. He's a pass-first point guard. He can shoot, don't get me wrong, but he's not a stand in the corner spot-up shooter. He's a playmaker. You don't put Steve Nash in the corner and tell him to just sit there and wait for the ball. He should be running the second unit. The second unit should have been Halliburton, Devin Booker, Derek White, Tatum, and Embiid. You got Halliburton with a bunch of scores. They could do ISOs if they want to, but he's running the show, setting up a bunch of scores. Embiid and Halliburton would have had a field day on the offensive end. And with the starting lineup being Steph, Anthony Edwards, Bron, Bam and AD, or KD and AD, what are you going to do with that? No team is battling that, but if you're putting out 3 guards to start the game for the first 8 minutes of the game, and they have 3 7-footers and then a shooting guard that's 6'8", you're going to get destroyed. And we're fighting uphill battles going into the fourth quarter. And thank goodness we had LeBron and Steph and KD who were able to will us to wins. But without them, we get blown out by 15 to Serbia. Without them, we lose to South Sudan by 5 points. No disrespect, South Sudan don't even got clean water. They don't play basketball. They play basketball outside. They practice outside. They don't have facilities. That's not me talking shit. That's a fact. And we're struggling against these teams, relying on our oldest players to take us home. That's ridiculous. And there's rumors that Steve Kerr might get replaced by Eric Spoelstra, and I really hope so, because Eric Spoelstra knows how to utilize people and get the best out of them. I don't think Steve Kerr does. I have a video about Steve Kerr that I'm going to do. I don't know if it came out before this or if it's going to come out after. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Steve Kerr, but yeah, I don't think we're going to win in 2028. I hope I'm wrong. Maybe if Cooper Flag is as great as we think he's going to be, then that's going to be awesome. Pairing him up with Paolo Banchero would be awesome. Chet being there. I heard a rumor Derek Lively might be on the team. Bam will be coming back. We have a chance. I'm not confident. As great as it was to see Steph, KD, and LeBron play together, them leaving is going to be extremely detrimental, and it's going to put us in a very bad spot. So my biggest thing is having Eric Spoelstra be the coach in 2028. Guys actually wanting to play and coming to play, not to bullshit around and complain about the roles that they have to play. Giving these players a role and having them lock in and play those roles and not complain and not bullshit around is a big thing. And I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Am I tweaking? Do you think we're going to win in 2028, whether LeBron and them are there or not? Or do you agree? Do you think I'm right? Do you think, this was a great run, but it could have been better? We didn't have to have as many close games that went down to the wire. But I'm happy to be back. I'm back on PLAXtv. I'm hopefully going to be posting more frequently. We're almost monetized. We are monetized over on the RMP podcast, but we're trying to get to tier 2 monetization. So head on over to RMP podcast. Check us out. We've been dropping a lot more frequently, a lot of clips, a lot of videos. If you like nerd stuff, head on over there. And in this video, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ding that notification bell so you know every time I drop a video. And most of all, YouTube. I love you guys. Peace out.
It's the 3 on PLAXtv.